Please be seated. Welcome to the first athletic assembly of the year. Tonight is a night to celebrate all of you in this room and your teammates. Shortly, you will hear season summaries from your coaches. As well, some of you in the room will receive individual awards. Regardless, all of you should be proud of the seasons you had and memories you created this fall. Now, I'm not on the same crusade as Mr. Van Dyke in that winning isn't important, but there are points in his long-winded sermons that I agree with. In the fall, I've had the pleasure of walking around and watching a lot of your home games. And although I can no longer play, as some of you most likely saw live or on social media when I tripped over myself and then the soccer ball in the staff prefect game, I used to get so excited about playing, but really about winning. Unfortunately today, I sadly can't remember any of those wins. All I remember are the funny things that happened throughout the seasons. Cameron Moore's speech hit home because, like Cameron, my favorite memory of my time at Stanstead came in an 8-7 loss to Hebron Academy. Why am I telling you this? Well, because this fall, I believe winning happened, and it happened often, but most importantly, memories happened. Here are my two favorites from the fall. The first was hearing the story of the game between the senior girls red team and Alexander Galt. Down several players to injury, Coach Peasley struggled to put a lineup on the field. After a few injuries, he was down to 8 players. During an injury timeout, as Coach Peasley was caring for one of the girls, the Galt coach, Mark Learned, walked over and offered to drop his roster down to 8 as well. For him, it was more important for his players to learn a lesson in compassion than win a soccer game. Something more than winning or losing happened that day in Lennoxville, and I want to thank Mark for that. The second, the Bantam boys soccer team are about to start their first home game of the season. They're excited, and so of course they break into a dance battle. A dance battle that the other team engaged in. So instead of kickoff, you now have 6 to 8 grades 7 to 8 boys busting a move in the middle of the field. It made my love for my job even stronger and my school, so boys, thank you. Speaking of thank yous, on behalf of all, my bad. So speaking of thank yous, on behalf of all of us in this room, I would like to give a big thank you to several special people. This long list of dedicated people is the reason sports at Stanstead are so great. First, I'll thank all of you in advance, as I know you will give your full focus to the assembly. Thank you for looking so sharp in your school uniforms, and thank you in advance for the respect that you will show every single speaker and every single team. And finally, thank you for turning off your cell phones. Go ahead and do that. Thank you to Ms. Sonia Perron, Mr. Maxime Boulet, Mrs. Holly Moore in the Health Center, and to our athletic therapist, Mr. Christophe Rob Lavoie, for being the dedicated medical professionals that they are. Thank you to Mr. Fauché and Ms. Robitaille for their enthusiasm running the co-ed beach volleyball program. Thank you to Ms. Marco and Mr. Wolf for their dedication to the badminton group. And thank you to Mrs. Wilkinson and Ms. Nikki Campbell for their time and care during outdoor pursuits. Thank you to the maintenance department, the ladies in the laundry, the team at the arena, our drivers, and our kitchen staff who work with us to make sure that all of our programs and needs are provided for. Every person mentioned are truly the backbone of the sports program here at Stanstead College. This dedicated group go the extra mile every time for you because they care about you. Thank you to Mrs. Wolf for all of her competence and expertise in running the RSCQ component of the athletics program. Thank you to Mr. Brad Crawford. Brad is in his first year managing all of your athletic needs, and I can tell you, he truly cares about you. He is the first to write me to inquire about how teams did at away games, and I can't thank him enough for all his hard work in the athletic accomplices. Finally, a huge thank you to your coaches. They work tirelessly to ensure your athletic experience is as memorable as possible. Your coaches will say nice things about you tonight. Take the time to pull them aside and let them know how much they mean to you. So a big round of applause to all those people I mentioned, the people who made the first sports term drill successful. And without further ado, let's kick off things with Bantam boys soccer, Miss Borsoi.
All right. I want to first thank Coach Liverpool for everything he did throughout the season. Helped me a lot. Thank you. The Bantam level is always exciting because you never know what you're going to get. This year I had 2 returning players, Masuda and Grenier, and 11 new players who all had their first year at Stanstead. These boys, most of them had never met each other. Some of you are day students, so you knew each other for a long time. But in a short 2-month period, you boys became such a tight-knit group, and that absolutely drove me insane. Even tonight at dinner. But I love you anyways. But that's the beauty of it. Despite whatever was going on, you were able to come together and enjoy your time on the field. Our last game of the regular season was a prime example of this. Some of you may have known, but we could have lost by 2 goals and still won the banner. But I don't think any of you knew that we were first place the whole season, because that didn't matter to you guys. And however, I would say it didn't matter, but you always had fun. After 70 minutes of play, where you guys fought hard and the game ended in a 2-2 tie, I was excited for you guys. Yet, the only thing you guys wanted to know was how far McDonald's was, when we were going to McDonald's, how much money we would get for McDonald's, if you ate your ice cream super fast, which we have a record, Masuda, 1 minute and 54 seconds. Yeah. But, and I'm pretty sure this season, the most important thing was probably McDonald's. Although we didn't have a storybook ending with a trophy in our hands, you should all be proud of the work throughout the season. Your sportsmanship exceeded my expectations. Other coaches on other teams and even other players came up to me after games to tell me how fun it was to play you guys, because it didn't matter for you guys. You just wanted to play soccer, and you wanted to be together. You made memories, you danced on the bus, you scored some goals, made some big saves, but most importantly, you had some burgers with some new friends. And friends that I hope you keep throughout your whole time here at Stanstead and for years after that as well. So for the next part, I would ask that the award winners come all together at the end. I will be awarding 2 Bantam S's and a sportsmanship award. When I look back at the season, this player always had a smile on his face. He was excited when we were winning, or on the rare occasion, when we were losing. No matter the position he played, or if he started on the bench, or if he started on the field, he was just excited to be playing soccer. When the junior boys needed some extra players for their game, he jumped at the opportunity to play. Although he didn't get any playing time, he was still so excited to be at the field and be with the boys. The sportsmanship award goes to Mike's son. You can wait. I see a lot of similarities in the next 2 players. Throughout the season, they dominated the field with their hard work and their talent. Without hesitation, the team followed them, followed their example as well. And oftentimes, they kept the boys in line and focused during practice and on the road. I could count on them to lead the team without even asking. Ben, you killed it this year, and I can't wait to see what you can do next year. And Noah, as our captain, you truly showed them how it's done, and you'll do excellent at the next level. So the Bantam S are awarded to Benjamin Ryu and Noah Grenier. You guys can all come.
Just for now, till the end, just till pictures.
I'm gonna run away.
Next to speak, junior girls soccer, Mrs. Smith.
Good evening, everyone. So first of all, I want to reiterate what Mr. Spirk said. Thank you to Mr. Spirk for setting everything up for us this year. All the wonderful folks in the laundry for keeping our uniforms bright and shiny. Maintenance crew for keeping the fields beautiful to play on. We really, truly do have the nicest fields in the league. Mr. Crawford, thank you for always having everything ready for us and organized and ready to go every day. I also want to thank Ms. Guerrera, who was a wonderful addition to our coaching staff this year. Her skill, expertise, ideas, and energy made for a great season for everyone, for all of the girls. She had the opportunity to choose which team she worked with, and I'm really happy that she chose to work with the junior girls. I think they all learned a lot from her. She was an incredible role model for these young athletes to follow. She's hardworking, she's focused, and always positive. Thank you, Ms. G. So it's always really easy to give a speech about a winning team, a team that's loaded with superstars, a team that wins everything, that has highlight reel moments. It's not as easy to talk about a team that struggles and has had a rather unsuccessful season. Nonetheless, I am very honored to speak to you today about the junior girls soccer team. And yes, I get to tell you what it's like to be on a team that didn't win a game, only scored 1 goal all season long. More importantly, however, I get to tell you about a team that was successful in so many other ways. A team that showed character, integrity, heart, and determination. The team that never quit trying all season long. So after our very first game, which was a 10-1 loss, Coach G and I kind of looked at each other and said, oh boy, this is going to be a long season. But as true Spartans do, you girls came back to the next practice. You were determined to work harder, to get better, to pick up the pieces. So our next 3 games, we lost 3-0. You'd think we were cursed, but in each of those games, you made passes, you stayed in formation, you played effectively, you played your positions effectively, you played with discipline, you took some shots on net, you held your own, you played with heart, and each outing got better. Our final 2 games came along, we played in ankle-deep mud, we played our absolute worst game of the season, not because of the mud, because they just played very poorly. We then faced an undefeated team and played our absolute best game of the season, so go figure. There's no telling with you guys. Playoffs start, they're here, they're on our fields, but we've been eliminated, so we just kind of stood around and watched. Yeah. It didn't really make a difference because by now the virus had decimated all but 5 members of the team, and we couldn't even hold a practice by Tuesday of that week. But since the virus also decimated the senior girls' red team, who had made their final game, 5 of our healthy girls, the only 5 healthy girls, got called up to fill in the holes. Now keep in mind that 4 of these 5 girls were in grade 7 and 8. They're Bantam age, going to play in the senior finals. All 5 of them played, all 5 of them contributed to the win, and they were part of an incredible victory. And for those 5 girls, it was their first victory all year, so I only wish the whole team had experienced it, but as they say, life happens. We want to close off with 3 little words. Winning's not everything, but it's nice. We had the youngest team in the league, so the scores that I mentioned are irrelevant. As I said before, success can be measured in many different ways. For our team, we were successful because we developed friendships, we learned responsibility, resilience, and we learned the benefits of teamwork in helping our friends reach a common goal. Girls, it was a pleasure working with you this season. You're all true Spartans, and you represented your school with pride. We wish you luck in your new sport this winter term, and hope to see you back at soccer next fall. So Ms. G is going to present the awards.
Okay, so to close the evening, we would like to recognize our award winners. This wasn't an easy choice. However, we will be awarding a Sportsmanship Award along with 3 Junior S Awards, and we'd like to have all the recipients come up together at the end. So our first award this evening is the Sportsmanship Award. Full of heart, full of enthusiasm, always willing to help out, and an ever-present leader amongst the girls. She always showed up to practice with the biggest smile on her face and would always work hard and never quit. She truly was our heart and soul. One thing I'll always remember is when we lost 3-0. The first thing she said was, "Coach, my sister used to lose 10-0. At least we only lost 3-0. That's not so bad, right?" The most deserving recipient of the Sportsmanship Award this year is Cecilia Riddle. Our first junior S goes to our most promising new player. Her imposing height made her a force to be reckoned with on defense. She learned quickly, became faster and more adept, and most importantly, she became fearless. She used her quick tap dancing feet to control the ball and made some clutch moves to help keep the ball out of our net. She is first-time soccer player who will be a strong force in the future. Our first junior S is awarded to Clara Thompson. We consider our second junior S to be our most improved player. Hardworking, ever smiling, never doubting, and always giving 110%. She came to tryouts with ball handling and speed, but over the course of the season, worked hard to become better at every aspect of the game. As such, her speed and agility got better, and she became very adept at getting through players who were older and bigger, often seen flying down the wing and crossing the ball into her strikers. This award recipient is none other than Caitlin Wonka. Our final junior S goes to the player who came to camp as the most fit and skilled player, and we consider her to be our MVP. What set her apart from the get-go was the fact that she never slacked off in games, and more importantly, in practice. She never once quit running, covering, helping, and she always did her best to continue to improve, not only on her own skills, but to also help her teammates do the same. It would have been easy for her to get discouraged with the losses and complain, yet she did the opposite. She worked harder, she was supportive, and she helped her teammates. It is for these reasons that our final junior S MVP goes to Haley Gilbert.
Next program to speak, Junior Boys Soccer, Mr. Liverpool.
Good. Awesome. Say again? Okay, makes sense. Possible. With or without glasses? I think we'll try without. Start. No, that's not a good idea. Good evening. No, that's not going to work either. We're going to try this one more time. Here we go. No, I just need better eyes. No, it's okay. I'll get through this. Sorry for the hold up, folks. Good evening, faculty, staff, and student athletes. It gives me great pleasure to stand before you tonight to expound upon the virtues of the 2022 Junior Boys soccer team and season. As the season began in early September, I really wasn't sure what to expect. Despite that fact, I entered this season as I try to enter every season with an open mind and a blank slate. It quickly became evident that we were talented, possessing skill and ability at almost every position on the field. The only question left was, would we be able to come together as a team? Coaching is important to me. You athletes and your development is important to me. And as my guys will definitely attest to, having fun is important to me. My coaching philosophy has sort of altered, especially within the last couple years. And once again, as my players will attest, my number one goal was to have fun. Really, when you sit down and think about it, to me, this should probably be the only goal of high school athletics. For if we're not out there on the field with our friends trying to have fun, then really, to me, what's the purpose? I see little purpose in being out there and competing in something that you don't enjoy. It doesn't make much sense to me. So for me, sports should be more about fun. Sorry, Mr. Van Dyke. So another season's over, and it was a pretty successful, interesting, and definitely surprising one, for sure. I'll do my best to try and keep this short and sweet. We finished the season with a record of 6 wins, 1 loss, and 1 tie. This placed us in second place in our league and pitted us against the third place finishers from Alexander Galt in the semifinal. We were the better team, and although this doesn't always necessarily equal a win, on this day it did, to the tune of a 4-1 victory, earning us a spot in the league finals against that purple team from down the road. Long story short, though we battled, we came up a bit, or a touch on the short side, the short end, and had to settle for second place finish in the league and a second place finish in the playoffs. As a quick aside, and I know this sounds like sour grapes, but I'm going to say it anyways, I feel that things could have been a little bit differently. Obviously, we all experienced our little battle with the influenza there, and it took out quite a few of our players. In fact, we were 4 starters, not just 4 players, but 4 starters short from our lineup in that game. And I think had they been there, they would have definitely made a difference, and I think the game would have been a little bit different as well. As it is, we held our own, and a 3-1 loss, but really it was a 2-1 loss as they scored with under 10 seconds left in the game, as we had an opportunity to score, to tie the game at 2, so we moved everybody up into the box, and they had a breakaway off of that, but is what it is. The good thing about this, or the bad thing, was I think that it could have been a little bit different. The good thing was we had an opportunity to have, as Kira mentioned, a few Bantams come up and join us for that evening, or that afternoon, and they acquitted themselves quite nicely. So our future looks really good, both at the Bantam junior and, of course, senior levels. And that's the season. I'll now award individual awards, and I have 5, bear with me, junior S's and 1 sportsmanship award. I will start with the sportsmanship award, and if you've ever been around this young man, you'll understand why he received this award. He's not a big talker, doesn't say a lot, but was very, very consistent in his play, consistent in his attitude, his effort, and his respect for not only our team, the other teams, the officials, and the game itself. So I really didn't get a lot of words out of him this year. I think maybe 2 for the majority of the year, but they were the 2 best words that a coach ever wants to hear, and it's yes, coach. Yes, coach. And I love that. So that there's the sportsmanship award is deservingly awarded to Keita Tutsunami. Our first Junior S award, a 2-year starter, a defender on the junior boys soccer team. This young man has improved with each and every practice and game. He worked hard, never quit on a play, and served as a positive example to our younger players of exactly what hard work and dedication can do. Even-keeled by nature, this young man never let his emotions rise too high or fall too low. A wonderful quality with regard to competitive sports. For these reasons, a Junior S is awarded to Bo Bailey. Much, if not all, of what I previously said about our first award winner, Bo, is truly applicable to this next award winner. While they have little in common with regard to body type, on the soccer pitch, this is probably the only thing that separates them. This young man relied on his experience, his intelligence, and his leadership to provide our team with the quote-unquote eraser that every good team needs in the middle of their defense, and we were a good team. While not in an official position of leadership, aka captaincy of any kind, this quiet leader never wavered in this role, setting the bar for consistent play, game in and game out. For these reasons, a Junior S is awarded to Saif Parna. A first-year starter on the junior boys soccer team, this young man managed to display a great deal of knowledge and skill while on the pitch. His abilities to see the field and make passes to his teammates, thus making his teammates better and making us as a team better. He arrived on the very first day with a solid set of skills, but he didn't stop there. He worked hard every day in practice to improve upon those skills. He proved to be a force in our midfield, and I look forward to the opportunity of watching him grow and blossom as a vet and a leader next season. For these reasons, a Junior S is awarded to Josh Lippman. Another first-year starter, this jovial young man displayed a high-level work ethic that also revealed to his peers that we could all work hard, improve, and have a good time while doing both of those things. His skills are good, and they're only getting better. Once again, a testament to his attitude, work ethic, and desire to improve. With an already impressive physical stature, I'm really looking forward to watching his continued growth in both stature and soccer skill. For these reasons, a Junior S is awarded to Henry Riddle. Possessing speed, athleticism, knowledge, and a passion for the game of soccer, this next young award winner was a wonderful addition to this year's squad. I vividly remember our first conversation in which I jokingly asked this young man who was injured at the time, "Are you any good?" To which he replied, "Come on, sir, I've been playing soccer since I was 3. Well, I said, okay. We both sort of chuckled, and I responded with, well, I guess we'll wait and see then, won't we? Well, see I did. This young man turned out to be a lethal sniper with the ability to attack and score with both feet. This young man was a monster for us at Striker, and another wonderful addition to the Stanstead soccer program. Talked to him briefly tonight about whether he was returning, and sadly, he's not, but I think there's some convincing that can be done there. So if you see him around, perhaps you could work on it. I look forward to watching his continued success, whether that be here or elsewhere, preferably here. For all of these reasons, Junior S is awarded to Tim Ludwig. That's it. Yeah, come on up, guys. Okay.
All right, you may have seen these, some of your friends in the audience with these crisp white sweaters. Our next program to be recognized is the first program of the night that can give out Major S awards. And for those new to the school this year, here at Stanstead College, we recognize Major S winners with a standing ovation. That in mind, speaking next for Ultimate Frisbee, Mr. Wong.
Thank you, Stanstead College. For those of you who don't know me, this is my first year working at Stanstead College. Before that, I only visited as an opposing coach. And before that, I worked in a cubicle in Toronto. So you see, when Mr. Spirk asked me to coach Ultimate, I didn't hesitate at all. But I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't coached Frisbee before, and I didn't know any of these kids. So it was a good thing Coach LaRoche was there. I owe her big thanks for being so welcoming and guiding me for my first attempt at coaching at a new school. So what to do? I need to teach them how to throw. So I looked up the internet. There was the regular throw and that Claudie thing that she does, that Claudie thing. What? Like, go ask Claudie, I don't know. So we started to learn how to throw backhand. Needless to say, our first game didn't go so well. But we kept practicing and practicing. Some would stay over an hour after in the pouring rain and throw a Frisbee around. And we got better and better. We became closer as a team, and we started to care about each other. Maybe it was because of losing together. Maybe it was the cheers after practice, or the argument of whose music should be played when we travel and having Yana and everyone rock to the tunes. Or maybe it was just the fun times we spent together. The best part was the amazing shared experiences. One time we had to play in what I would call a small, shallow pond. Imagine a muddy field where the water level was as high as your shoe, and your shoe was fully submerged. And you don't want to get wet. So you run gingerly, trying not to keep your balance and not fall. But you fall, right? And your whole side is wet. And after a couple of slips and you fall, you're so wet and soaked and muddy, it doesn't matter anymore. And then we started making plays. I was teaching one day, lines, slopes, y equals mx plus b, polygons of constraint. Anyways, finding a vogue test. Anyway, so Tyler raises his hand. Sir, I have a question. Yes, Tyler. What if I give Josh a short pass and it takes off to the end zone? I'll hit him with a long pass. I call it the Thor. No one would expect that. Well, we had a great season. I got to know some awesome students. After this is over, you should ask Thomas to do this Boris impression for you. Every team needs a Thomas to make everyone laugh and keep the games fun, whether we're winning or losing. You need a Yana for relief. How do you spell relief? J-A-N-A. You need an Augie for solid defense and height to reject passes. You need an Augie just for his name, because there isn't a better cheer than Augie, Augie, oi, oi, oi. And Will, to gel everyone together and for his enthusiasm. And you know what? We won our last game against a team we couldn't beat. Everyone played their best that day. Boris made plays, Hector dove to intercept passes, Tyler made Thor hammer throws that somehow got caught. Charlie hopped around and blocked passes and won Athlete of the Week. Claudia played the whole game and covered the player on the other team, the annoying fast one. Parker sprinted the whole game and they couldn't keep up. And Josh, well, that was the best game I ever saw anyone play. One person said of Josh, and I quote, "He played with such speed and finesse, like a man rushing to catch a bus to go to La Ronde afterwards." Thank you, team, for including me in your experience. Okay, I'll be presenting the awards for sportsmanship. This person was just a pleasure to coach. The nominee has always stayed positive, bring team together, and create unity. For the ultimate Frisbee family, during our warm-ups and games, he captured the essence of sportsmanship, leadership, and friendship. Wilma Plant is our sportsmanship award winner for Ultimate Frisbee 2022. Our first major S winner helped me coach and teach the team how to throw backhand, right? She started off playing Frisbee and she came in already knowing how to the game, and she helped us all through it. Always hustling, always guarding the toughest player on the other team. We didn't have a lot of subs, right? And a lot of teams would have 20 or more players, but she guarded the fastest girl on the team. So the first award goes to Claudie Gamache. Okay, senioress. The second award, senioress, goes to a guy who I saw play. He actually threw this Thor hammer end to end. It was the most beautiful throw I could see. He quarterbacked our team to our win. Ever present, always making plays, always trying hard, Tyler Bata. A quarterback needs a good wide receiver, and we had one. He was all over the field. He covered everybody on defense. He was everywhere. He could run end to end and literally catch a throw from Tyler from one end of the field to the other. What could I say? Josh Isaac June. Finally, this all-round player played defense, offense. I could use him for anything. The short game, the long game, he was there. Never tiring, right? Always enthusiastic, always out there, wanted to practice hours on end, even in the rain. Final award goes to Parker Saunders. Okay, come on up, guys.
Our next program to be recognized is the first program of the night that can give out Majoress Awards and an MVP trophy. So like the Majoress, we recognize trophy winners with a standing ovation. Speaking proudly for the cross-country running team, Miss Reynolds.
That's your Bantam award. That's your 2 senior weight awards.
Okay.
Ali and Zach. And that's your junior. And then it's your...
You think I'm going to remember all that? Okay. Firstly, I need to apologize for my voice. Been trying to get over that virus, so bear with me. Second thing I want to do is thank a few people. Thank you to Max, Sonia, and Christophe for trying to keep our team in one piece, as you might say. Thank you to Brad for everything he does in the athletics department. And then also a hearty thanks to my co-coach, Mr. Delorme, for helping out with this rugged team. Never thought I'd meet anybody more sarcastic than I am, but honestly, I'm truly humbled. Yes, thank you very much. Training for cross country in the fall after the summer is super hard to do. In normal standards, having to get race ready in 3 weeks is honestly unheard of. Typically, if you're training for something, say, like a 5K, you need upwards of 2 months to get yourself ready. So your body can get adapted to the stress that you're putting on your body. So the strain on your body in this circumstance is extremely great. It helps if you're a natural athlete, of course, and are in good condition already. But even then, running almost every single day and doing other training on top of that leads to strains and joint damage. Ask anyone on the team if the first 3 weeks of the season is any fun. It really isn't. Everyone is complaining that their ankles, knees, shins, calves, or quads are in pain, to the point where I think over 2/3 of our team was sent for evaluations to the physio to make sure that there was an actual injury. It's no picnic. Honestly, it's not an easy sport option. So moving on to team dynamics, and I say team because when people talk about cross country, they think individual sport. So this is the beauty of cross country. Honestly, it's both. So each individual works together to get the best possible result for the team. So for each level, separated by age and gender, the top 7 runners gain points for the team. The higher you place, the more points for the team. The team with the most points after 4 races wins the banner. So, on to our first race. Cole has a concussion, down 1, probably for attempting to run in his slides. Seriously, the kid shows up to the first practice in slides. And Charles is recovering from an Achilles issue. So right there, we were kind of down 2 people. The boys race first all together. Things are going quite well. They start coming around on their first lap. Things were looking pretty good. Then Max comes around. Blood just running down his face. Have no idea what happened. Just randomly, his nose started bleeding, I guess. So we're like, stop. He's like, no, I'm going to keep going. So things end well. Then the girls go. Everyone, again, is doing quite well. Then at the end of the race, I see Haley down at the far end, really struggling, having a tough time, because this is the first time she's ever done a race. She's still plugging away. She's determined to finish. And as I said earlier, it's not an easy sport option, especially in the fall. So as it turns out, the team has grit. They just keep going. So then we move on to our second race at Massey, and that went even better. Easier course, and they were more ready. They had a race under their belt and knew what to expect. The overall results were even better. Charles and Max came in 4th, got to mention that. There you go. And everyone improved their times. Then the third race was at Galt, the day after Thanksgiving break. Everyone fighting off their tryptophan-induced comas from eating too much turkey, the worst, in my opinion, of the races. The one with the most hills. I tried to tell them going in. I think they might have believed me afterwards. It didn't go quite as well. But actually, we ended up, after those 3 races, 50 points ahead of the other teams. So we had a very confident feeling going into the final. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Yeah. Well, a week before the final, Shun has a fight with a shower door and loses, resulting in stitches in his foot. Zach takes a puck to the knee and then lands on it incorrectly in practice. So then we're down to 2. Then the virus, it hits. And we're not talking the COVID, we're talking that flu virus that wiped out half the school. You all remember, I'm still trying to recover from it. So we actually send 10 out of 20 runners to the final at BCS, some of which they weren't healthy. So the boys race first. We have a total of 3 boys, Liam, Jacob, and Asher. That's it. Ask them before the start, how are you guys feeling? Jacob and Liam say they're good. Asher says, not good. I don't think it's going to go well. But he says that before each race, so we don't really know how to judge it. So come around, Jacob comes in first place, boom, great. Liam, same thing at Bantam, first place, boom. No sign of Asher. He's going to get mad at me because I'm telling this story. He took off like a rocket to start, so we were kind of concerned about that. So he finally appears on the last bit of the lap, and I'm like, Asher, are you okay? And he's like, no, I need a bathroom. So I'm like, well, stop. He's like, no, I'm going to finish. So he ends up coming around the last little bit at a crawl, and he honestly does one of these, because when you come across the finish line, you're supposed to stop, put your sticker, tell them your time. He does not stop, put a sticker. He runs right through and just goes right to the bathroom. And there goes Asher. I'll leave the rest to your imagination. You can figure out the rest. The girls then race. We're only down 1 girl, actually, from the virus. Melissa and Reagan not feeling well. Hallie and Mia on the road to recovery. Kate, Axel, and Flo seem to be all right. They come around on their first lap. Reagan is coughing uncontrollably. Hallie and Donna, a girl from Massey, are all up front. Followed by Mia, Flo, Axel, and then Kate and Melissa coming up behind. They come around again, no sign of Reagan. Uh-oh. So she finally appears, coming in 3rd behind Hallie. Hallie, whose goal this year was come first. And then following closely behind Hallie is the girl from Massey Vanier. Reagan came in third after those two. Mia came in fifth. Flo performed her personal best at second at the junior level, Axel fourth, and Kate coming in seventh, scoring a point for the team, also a personal best for her, followed by Melissa. Did I mention that it took Reagan 30 minutes to stop hyperventilating afterwards? We actually had to take her to the infirmary at PCS. So I mentioned that we were 50 points ahead coming into the final. We won. I think we won. Don't have the final points yet, but we won. We just don't know the actual final points. We think it was about like 2 points, 1 point. Mr. Delorme thinks maybe 1 point. But we won't credit just one team, because remember, this is a team sport. This is a championship win. So we will credit everybody, and that could be including Liam's 4 first place finishes, Flo's personal best, second place, Axel's hard-working attitude and scoring points, Kate's willingness to never give up, Melissa's even-keeled performances, Charles's ability to bounce back after injury, Jack's ability to work despite sore knees, Justin's 3 top 3 finishes, Jacob's 4 first-place finishes, Reagan's drive for first place, Mia's work ethic and always smiling disposition, Hallie's determination to get that gold medal, Haley's never quit attitude and always being first to practice, Kate's strive to get better, Asher's 3 top 3 finishes and the ability to find a bathroom in a hurry, Shun's ability to always eat Doritos during the last period, giving him cramps during practice, but still putting in the work. Zach's natural ability, Max's strive to improve, Jerome's leadership, or Cole's could have been his comic relief. So definitely, it's a team sport. Whatever the clinching factor was, they did it together as a team. Now we'll go move on to the awards. I know this is a bit cliche, but it's tough to narrow things down for individual awards. There are many tough decisions here, and if you aren't receiving an award tonight, an individual award tonight, it's not because you aren't deserving of one, it's just that there's so many of you that are deserving of one. So there are many high-achieving athletes on this team, and we had to cut things down. So then again, you actually have to think what you got at supper was your team pin. This is actually the ultimate award because it signifies that you're a part of this championship team, so I hope you cherish it. So, back to the individual awards. So the first individual award goes to a natural-born runner, and I want you guys to all come up together, please. He actually questioned if he should move up a level or not, just to challenge himself. In the end, he decided to stay at the Bantam level to earn more points for his team. 4 first-place finishes, can keep up and exceed many of the senior-level runners. If he continues to push himself in the future, things can only improve, and he could go a long way. Bantam S for Liam Summon. Again, a natural runner and athlete, works hard in practice. If he pushed himself a little harder, he would improve even further. Can keep up with the top senior level runners without any problem. Works hard in practice and can also go a long way should he choose to. 4 first place finishes, pretty much sums up everything for this guy. Junior S for Jacob LeBlanc. The Sportsmanship Award is being given to 2 dedicated athletes, not necessarily the fastest runners on the team, but always worked hard to improve. Jerome led team stretching, and Mia put in extra distances both in and out of practice to improve. Both having been team members for 3 years running, it only seems fit that they are co-awarded this honor, Sportsmanship Award, to Mia Eichholzer and Jerome Sayer. The next runner has had the desire to achieve first place medal all season long. She worked extremely hard during practice, always putting in extra distances. She also worked a lot on her own in order to achieve her goal. You can tell by the look on her face during races just how much she was working to keep and improve her standing in races. Was devastated losing out on the gold medal at Galt, 3 second place finishes, and her coveted first place finish in the final. Senior S for Hallie Khanna. The next runner has natural running and athletic ability, the fastest person on the team without any question. I only wish that he worked a bit harder in practice to improve even further. Sidelined by injury for the final. 3 second place finishes in 3 races. Senior S for Zach Maillot. Come on up, folks. Bantam. Thank you. So do I let them hold it for like 2 seconds? We have one last runner to be recognized this evening. They will be awarded with a major S in the MVP trophy. Always works hard, natural ability, wants to do more and push herself, was certainly threatened and worried about Hallie's strive to beat her. A natural athlete and runner. She's actually junior age, but ran the senior distance all season as she wanted to be the best at the top level. Well, she has earned that position and that title. Congratulations on earning a major S and being awarded the William Greenshields Memorial Trophy for excellence and leadership in cross-country running. Reagan Lynch.
Our next program to be recognized, Senior Girls Red Soccer, Mr. Peasley.
All right, good evening, everyone. First, just a quick thank you to everyone who made the season possible. Everything ran smoothly from equipment to fields to watching the health of the players, so much appreciated to all involved. As most of you know, this season I coached the Senior Girls Red team, which was essentially a team comprised of only junior-aged girls, but we were playing at the senior level for all of our games. Last year we had a dominating season at junior, so decided to bump the team up to senior this year and see how it would go. And as you may know, it went quite well, though we certainly had some challenges along the way. Let's start at the end of the season though, which is what we as a team had basically focused on throughout. After our team won the championship game in the playoffs against Galt, Ms. Garrett asked me to write a couple of lines to sum up my feelings on that game so that she could do an Instagram post about it. A seemingly simple request, but something I really struggled with because how could I put into words, and just 2 sentences basically, what had happened over the course of this whole season, which really, and that game itself was a microcosm of the whole season. So I thought about it for a while, and here's what I ended up sending to her. Despite injury, despite sickness, despite missing 6 players from our lineup, this team dug deep, along with help from our last-minute call-ups from the junior team. Thank you for that. And we managed a hard-fought win against a great opponent in Galt. We could not have asked for a better display of what it means to be a Spartan. Teamwork, effort, and perseverance. So once again, teamwork, effort, and perseverance. The girls on this team displayed these traits throughout the season. Looking back, I think we only played 1 or maybe 2 games with our full roster. We had concussions, injuries, and sickness that left us playing nearly all of our games with only 1 sub, or no subs, or even less. One day that stands out in particular was our second to last regular season game at Galt, which Mr. Spirk mentioned before. We started that game with 11 players. As the injuries came up, we were down to 8, and that did include our goalie. When I mentioned to some of the players how I might just call the game because the field was in rough shape and I really didn't want anyone else getting hurt, they all immediately replied with, "No, we can do it, coach. 8 players is enough." And that was the spirit of this team, never giving up, always willing to dig deep, show teamwork, effort, and perseverance. And that's when the Galt coach came over and he said he wanted to finish this way, the way he felt it should be, which was with fairness. They removed players, as we heard before, and in the end, in the second half of that game, they were winning 3-2. Galt needed to win it in order to have a chance to take first place overall from the other Stanstead College team. And yet we dug deep and we tied the game with only a few minutes remaining, and we somehow left Galt that day with a tie, though we played the majority of the game shorthanded until that last little part at the end of the game. A very great and respected show of sportsmanship by Galt, and a great show of determination by our team once again. A little bad luck came our way one day also when the bus broke down on the side of Highway 10 on our way back from a game. Luckily, we had already been to McDonald's. The junior boys team, or Bantam boys team, can allude to that. But we were stuck on the side of a road in a bus after dark. It didn't take long until the girls found one of 2 things to do. 1 or 2 of them working on homework diligently by the light of a cell phone, with the others singing songs together to pass the time, although the singing was way out of tune. Again, nothing stops this team, and yes, I did record some of it secretly on my phone. I'm going to play it for them eventually. Despite the injuries that did haunt us this season, we ended up being incredibly successful. We won 6, we lost 1 to the Stanstead White team in what was a great game, and we tied 2. 33 goals for, 10 against, a great record that the whole team should really be proud of. And I want to personally thank each and every member of this team for making the season such a memorable one. There are lots of memories. I'll go through them quickly. Whether it's Rosalie's looping goals, Penelope's aggressive saves, Pamela struggling to keep playing through pain, Coach Cloutier at practice, Val leading the cheer, Fatima arriving just on time, Isabel playing anywhere I ask her to, Naya standing on the ball, Emily scoring 4 in a game, Charlotte, nonstop sprinting, Julie's hats, Lori's booming kicks, Alex being a wall of defense, or Annabelle doing 49 keep-ups in a row for the team championship. I hope you remember it all and talk about it for years to come, because I know that I will. And now for the award winners. So first I'll announce the Senior S winners as well as the Sportsmanship Award, and so I'd ask all of you to wait and come up together at the end to receive your award. The first Senior S goes to one of our players who started the season as a backup goalie. She wanted to play mid or as a forward, was injured at the time, and eventually when she came onto the field, she ended up having to play defense because we had a lot of injured players. And she proved herself quickly to be an incredibly impactful defender. Laurie Aubin excelled at defense. Not only could she aggressively stop the opponent's attack, she could also turn the play around and lead our attack back up the field almost immediately. An incredibly hard worker, a great team player, and it was a pleasure to have you with us this year. The second Senior S goes to one of our second-year players who made a big switch at the start of the year, from striker last year to goalkeeper this year. A switch that both of us wanted to happen in about the first 10 minutes of day 1. Penelope Lavoie had a great year for us and was critical for us in many of our close games, none more than the playoff final when she made more saves than I can remember, and I'm pretty sure she said the same thing, she can't remember, to keep us in that game. So thanks for a great year, Penelope, and your nonstop energy and focus on the field. And next, the Sportsmanship Award. This goes to a player who dealt with several setbacks this year, including concussion and sickness, but she played games hard and full of passion when she could, and she was on the bench helping out when she couldn't play. I am pleased to give the Sportsmanship Award to none other than Noémie Coach Cloutier. Would all 3 of you please come up to get your awards? Thank you. Got it. I'm going to go over this way. That part. Okay. Okay, and now for the last awards. If any of you went to any of our games this year, you probably know who I'm going to be talking about. This girl is an incredibly dynamic player on the field who simply never stops and willed goals to happen for us all year. And people noticed. Whenever I was walking by other teams before games, I could always hear them talking about number 8. During games, you could hear coaches yelling, "Watch number 8, cover number 8. Our fans, though, would simply say, "Go, Rosalie." It has been a pleasure coaching her for the last 2 years, and I'm very happy to be able to award her twice tonight, winning her first major S at Stanstead College and the MVP trophy for senior girls red soccer, Rosalie Tremblay.
Our next program to be recognized is Senior Boys Soccer, Mr. Chandler.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Good evening, Spartans. It's great to be back at Stanstead College after a long break, and I congratulate all athletes and coaches for a wonderful sports season. A few thank yous. Thank you to Mr. Crawford from the gym for his dedication, organization, having our gear ready each and every day. Thanks, Brad. Thank you to the Health Center for looking after us and keeping us all in one piece. To Mr. Spirk for his fantastic effort throughout the fall, especially organizing the very first Stanstead Invitational Senior Boys Soccer Tournament. What a great weekend of soccer that was. Thank you. Finally, I would like to thank assistant coaches, Mr. Samard and Dyke Standage, for their interest, effort, and commitment in working with our boys. You made each practice and game day fun for the players and for me. I loved watching our team play this fall. Whether it was a training session or a game, I thoroughly enjoyed the process of seeing us gel and get better, player by player, day by day. Here's what I'll remember. Where's Jan Hars? Jan marauding up right wing to contribute to the offense and his amazing capacity to do multiple push-ups. Nicholas Robiard's incredible improved touch and overall skill development, incredible improvement in a short period of time. Ferdinand Rundle, all 6'7" of him, a foot taller than me, and Ryan Johnson at 6'2". Together, almost 13 feet of goalkeeper, making incredible top and bottom corner saves, and one-step punts where the ball traveled almost the length of the field. Trofim Garachkin's wicked left-footed free kicks and corner kicks, one of which went flying by the opposing goalkeeper and directly into the net. The dynamic duo of center backs and team captains Justin Bouchard and Chaz Grenier, who attacked every ball like it was the last ball they'd ever kick. Luc Delabriere and Will Towner burning up and down the wings, beating opponents, sending in crosses and tracking back defensively, relentless running. Bruce Campbell, moving from forward line to rabid defender and going full force into tackles and winning balls he shouldn't have had any chance at winning. Andreas Morano's razzle-dazzle 1-versus-1 moves and dribbling skills, and his 4 goals on the season to lead the team in scoring. Mauricio Lopez, who played as many roles and positions for our team as there are functions in a Swiss Army knife. No lie, he played every position on the field. Matteo, or Matteo as Dyke calls him, Matteo Paradis, smart and clever play in the midfield, outfoxing his opponents. The farther we went into the season, the more he resembled his dad, who was a standout player on the Mount Allison University men's soccer team I coached just a few years ago. Ian Olsen, the workhorse striker who ran his socks off and was in the conversation for every Player of the Game award. Riley Yipps, dirty feet and tricky moves, and then his incredible upper 90 top corner goal that left both sets of players, coaches, and fans stunned with amazement. Pato Echeverria moving to the holding midfield position and giving our team defensive structure and an offensive flair all at the same time. The 26th President of the United States once said, Theodore Roosevelt once said, "For us is the life of duty. Let us live in the harness, striving mightily. Let us run the risk of wearing out rather than rusting out." And that's the way our team played each and every game. That's the way we were at the end of the year. Our guys were pushed. They responded. The boys were challenged. They met the challenge. And for a small roster of 14 players plus 2 goalkeepers, they really gave it everything they had and played with tremendous heart. In the last 9 days of the season, we played 7 games. By the time we played Galt in the 7th game, the ETX semifinal, we had nothing left to give, no gas left in the tank. The virus, injuries, sickness, we were worn out. I think Mr. Roosevelt, had he seen our team play, would have witnessed a team well worn out at that time. Our year-end stats were like this: 12 games played, 4 wins, 4 ties, 4 losses. Had we won our last league game of the season, we would have been ETAC League champions. We played our hearts out, but we lost 1-0 in that last league game. We were that close, but it wasn't to be. I'm so proud of these young men. We had a solid season, and we really didn't lose. We just ran out of time. So just wait until next year. And for those of you who are following the World Cup, Canada will make it into the knockout round, and Argentina will win the World Cup. Mr. Fraser, you heard it here first. So, some awards. I'll speak about the most sportsmanlike player award first, and then the Senior S. So the most sportsmanlike player award. I will always remember Justin Bouchard for being a gentleman, a tremendous captain, and for playing within the laws and the spirit of the game. He trained and played hard, no question, but he recognized the importance of playing the game the right way, for the right reasons, and was a great sportsman while doing so. Indeed, I am fortunate to have had the pleasure to coach such a fine young man. It has been fun and an honor, Justin. Yeah. The Senior S. Mao earned a Senior S and the nickname Swiss Army Knife for his versatile ability to play all positions on the field. Being Mexican and highly technically skilled, this seemed to come rather easily to him. He started as a goalkeeper, moved to the back line, worked his way up to midfield, and at various points, he found himself on the wings and in attacking areas on the field too. In addition to his highly effective play, Swiss Army Knife Mao scored 2 highlight reel goals. One a header and the other a swerving outside of the foot shot from 25 yards out into the bottom corner. Well done, Mao. Come up and get your awards.
That's Justin.
Okay.
And Justin.
Where do I go over here?
I know, it's been a few years. It's been a few years.
Well, that's it. Oh, no, it isn't. Major S's, 2 major S's tonight. If there was ever a player you wanted on your team to build around, to lead, to be vocal, to stick his nose, feet, head into dangerous areas, to consistently show up and play hard each and every day, to lead by example, then you want Chaz Grenier on your team. His heart, his pride, his determination to represent Stanstead College to the best of his ability is unwavering. Chaz's technical and tactical skills grew substantially over the season, but it was his ability to dominate his opponents and play with such a passionate force that truly inspired his teammates and his coaches every time he stepped on the soccer field. This kid is a diamond, and every coach looks better when Chaz Grenier is on your team. Congratulations, Chaz. The second major S and the Bobby Moore Most Valuable Player Trophy. As I mentioned earlier, Ian was mentioned in every player of the game discussion between the coaches. His performances were that good. Playing as the lone striker, we had one player up front, we had wingers, but one guy to hold the ball. He dominated the defenders he was up against. Frequently, opponents put 2 and 3 defenders on Ian to try to slow him down and to try and contain him. Ian is a dynamic, eye-catching player because of his relentless defensive work ethic and his ability to run and dribble past defensive lines to create chances for himself and his teammates. His team-first mentality and selfless running constantly stood out as a model of a high-performing player with a competitive appetite to work to his maximum and be a game changer. Without question, Ian possesses all the necessary physical and mental characteristics and skills to play the game at a higher level. He's that good. It has been a joy and a pleasure to coach you this fall, Ian. Congratulations.
Our final program of the night, Senior Girls White Soccer, Mr. Van Dyke.
I'll do the boys first, yeah. All right, first couple thank you, obviously Mr. Spirk for all you do. Fellow soccer coaches, it's been a real pleasure coaching with all of you. Valentina, thank you for being our manager this year. Your work is very much appreciated. Thank you. And finally, thank you to Coach Kirby for coaching with me. God help the girls if I was the only coach around. I'd like to hand out my awards first and then finish by talking about the team. The Sportsmanship Award goes to a player who is a constant force for positivity and enthusiasm. She never complains, she always works hard, she loves Taylor Swift, and she also happens to be a pretty darn good central defender. Sportsmanship Award to Ava St. Pierre. Come on up, Ava, come on up. Come on up, Ava. Come on up, Ava. The first major S goes to the most knowledgeable, experienced soccer player on our team. Blessed with speed, strength, and skill, the game comes naturally to her, but just as impressively, she stepped out of her comfort zone in a huge way this year by accepting a role as a team captain. A major S re-award to team captain Cameron Moore. The second major S goes to an intelligent, hardworking player who has thoughtfully honed her craft over the last few years. Real athletes, true athletes, analyze their own game and learn from every opportunity. They don't just wait for coaches to tell them everything. That's what this athlete has done, and she's gotten better and better every year until she became, in the words of a visiting coach, the best goaltender I've seen all season. Major S to team captain Maddie Lippman. The final major S, along with the Merle Griffith MVP trophy, goes to a player who, a week into the season, asked me what offside was. She had never once played a soccer game with a referee until this season. She was that raw, but she seemed athletic and she had some good instincts. Who knew? By season's end, she had scored 14 of our 25 goals and established herself as the most feared sniper in the ETIC, a rare combination of speed, power, footwork, and work rate. One of the most naturally elite players I've ever coached, and an even better teammate. Major S and MVP trophy, Bernadette von Kampenhausen. So I was talking to Mr. Pym at lunch today, just today. We were talking about being old. We were complaining about our bad knees and how we can't stay up anymore past 8:30 without falling asleep on the couch. And then after school, I started thinking about this season and about how when I was coaching my soccer team, I never ever felt old. I felt young. My knees didn't hurt. I wasn't tired. I was full of life. I was endlessly optimistic and engaged and happy and young because of you girls sitting right there. In everything you do, you represent the endless possibility of youth. And even though I'm supposed to be the coach, it was you guys who taught me something every day. At least 4 of you played positions this year that you did not want to play. I didn't hear a single complaint because you knew it wasn't about you. You taught me about selflessness. We played the season with only 3 defenders, the SAC line, S-A-K, Sarah S, Ava A, Christine K. Not a single one of them is an elite soccer player. Not one. But this is not an insult. Hold on. This is hey, anyone can get born with tons of talent. Doesn't impress me. This is the highest compliment I can pay because with, honestly, average skill, experience, and speed, we played 8 league games and allowed 3 goals, including 5 shutouts. We were far and away the best defense in the league. And how? If you're not all the best players, how are you the best defense in the league? Trust. Trust. You guys taught me that trusting your teammates will always be more important than how far you can kick or how fast you can run. After practice on October 19th, you all invited me into the sports store and presented me with a birthday video where each said something nice about me. That day, you showed me just how thoughtful and caring you all are and reminded me how much these types of gestures can mean to a person. As you may recall, we all went bowling together in September. I had challenged anyone on the team to beat me. In the 10th frame, Sarah Paquette and I were basically tied. Sarah went spare strike to beat me by 4. On that day, I learned humility. Nah, not really. No, I didn't. So, pardon me? I'm old. I can't hear anything. What did I say? Oh, nosebleed. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Oh, she has a nosebleed right now? Oh, sorry. Okay. Okay. First the tablecloth, and then, okay. The 2-1 win versus SC Red earlier in the season and the 2-0 banner clinching win versus Galt under the Friday night lights at Bishop's University, not only did you teach me, but you taught yourselves that you've got way more guts than you thought you had. Neither of those games was won with talent. Never underestimate just how much you can give when you really want to. And finally, you taught me about joy. I've been coaching a long time, but the feeling you guys created at Bishop's University after that crazy win against Galt, arm in arm, claiming Coulter Field is our house, then the endless photo shoot after, big goofy grins on everybody, that was one of the most joyful moments I've been a part of in 30 years of coaching, and I will never forget it. So thank you, team. Hold on to your exuberant youth as long as you can. Charlotte Dubé, keep doing backflips. Charlotte Hughes, keep walking on your hands for like 10 minutes. Vivian, lose your key card a few more times. Ava, never stop with the annoying British accent. It's all good, because it's amazing what you can do with a fearless, wide-eyed love of life. Not only can you make an old dog like me feel young, you can immortalize yourself with your names on a championship banner that will hang on the walls of Amaron for decades to come. So congratulations, Senior Girls White, on such a memorable season. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We're done.
Thank you, Mr. Van Dyke. That concludes our Fall Athletic Assembly. Thank you all very much for your attention and comportment. Would all award winners please stay behind for photos? So that's Bantam S, Junior S, Senior S, Sportsmanship, Major S winners, and MVP trophy winners. Reminder that you're now to head to your houses for quiet house and packing. Please stand to let your coaches and teachers leave the church first. Wait for everyone to stand, please. Stand, please stand. And let your teachers and coaches leave. Enjoy the rest of the night. Have a great break.